I just got my letter back from my voting experience. This is the Mortgage Banking Live, November 7th, 2020. By the way, today is Pearl Harbor Day, and so I just want to say, let's take a brief moment to think about that tragic day in history and give respects to the people that really paid a dear price and also stood up for their country at a time when it was important. Okay, let's talk about the things that we do here. So I'm Troy Garris. This is the Mortgage Banking live stream. We talk about business, we talk about politics, we talk about regulation. Sometimes we delve off into other areas as well, but today we're going to talk politics, biz, and reg. And if you have any questions, if you have any information that you want to get on this live stream, just let me know, reach out to me. We're always interested in what you want to see and what you want to hear and the topics that you want addressed. We try to get all that information on here. If you contact me either in the YouTube channel just below in the description, you can find my phone number. You can email me. My email contact's down there too. You can email, you can text, you can call. No matter how you want to do it, you can get the information to me, and we will try to get the topics addressed and onto this live stream. Now, as we get started here, just a couple of shouts out. I mentioned that we do a lot of biz, reg, and politics on here. But the other day, I put on a very heartfelt kind of a memo or a message on Thanksgiving, how you can make these holidays the best ever, regardless of your situation. Got a lot of great comments and support, and just a couple of thank yous for Kevin Peranio. Kevin, you're wonderful as always. I love your messages as well, and thank you for the support. Laura Brandeo, same thing. Laura is such a shining star in our industry, and thank you for the support. Julie Gross, as always, thank you. Laura Ortiz Viruet. There's just so many wonderful people here, guys, and I just want to tell you that I do appreciate all of it. I read all of it. I try to respond to all of it. Typically, I do respond to all of it, and I definitely appreciate the wonderful people that are in this industry that is dear to me, that I love, and I love the people here as well. Let's talk about politics just briefly. I know I'm going to get comments on this too, by the way. Some will be supportive, some will be hate mail. It's okay. That's one of the benefits of being in a democracy like we have. In fact, the very First Amendment that we have, the right to free speech, to me is so important and dear to this entire organization that we call America, that I think is important. So people have the right, and they can and should speak up. But I want to tell you, and by the way, as I go into this, I just want you to know this is not a partisan issue. This is not a Republican thing. This is not a Democratic thing. I don't tell people which way I lean on this live stream, because I want open dialogue. I want everybody to feel like they're welcome. I want everybody to understand that I try to examine from an objective view all the various sides. But this is a serious issue in the sense of voting rights and voting system that we have. So I previously mentioned on the show here that when I went to vote on regular voting day, I went down on November 3rd and went down and tried to cast my ballot. I had a lot of problems with the ballot, not with the people. The people were fantastic, but for some reason, the system didn't have me listed in the voting rules. And so while I was there, the lovely woman who was there trying to help out. And first, there were some people that were helping out on the computers. They couldn't find me. I had moved within the past year or so. I had moved, and apparently they had sent a letter to the county had sent a letter to some address that I lived at probably 10 years ago now, and they got the letter sent back. Of course they did, because I hadn't lived there in 10 years. But I had voted several times in another county, a neighboring county, and for whatever reason, it got lost in the system. And so when I was there, the person who's again trying to do everything she could to help, she said, "Look, you can either cast a provisional ballot, which means that we can send it in, but you won't be able to vote on any of the county or local level positions. But you can at least vote for the the national level positions, and your ballot should be counted that way. And she said you can do that, or you can drive an hour round trip and go to this other location where they would let me vote in that office. But the polls were getting close to closing. I went after work, and they were getting close to closing, and so I said, you know what, I'll just do the provisional. I will skip the local and county level positions because this is sort of the pinch that I'm in. And she said, okay, great. She showed me how to do it. We went through the whole process. If you want to see it, it's the live stream that I did just after voting, and I talk about that a little bit. So what I did is after I voted, I waited to see what would happen, and I finally I got my results back from this provisional ballot that I filed. By the way, it's addressed to William Garris. It's got my correct address on there, but it's William Garris. That's not my name. And it says, notice of outcome to provisional voter. It says, this is to notify you that your provisional ballot was rejected for counting. And then they have a list of 6 items that here that could be the reason for the rejection. One of them is checked, you'll see here, and it says, you're rejected because you were not registered in this county or registered less than 30 days before the election. Not sure if either of those are true. For whatever reason, that's what they believe was true. And again, this is not this message here today is not in support of. I know there are currently some people that are trying to get ballots overturned, trying to get elections overturned. That's not what we're talking about here. That's not what we're talking about at all. What I'm talking about is this is a system that is fraught with frailties, and it's a system that, I work in the mortgage banking industry, and we have a lot of regulators who come in and take a look at systems that my clients use. And I'll tell you, no CFPB, no state regulator would ever allow a system that is so flimsy and weak and unaccountable as the system that we have. It wouldn't stand up. I think we need to focus, this is not talking about the current administration's attempts to overturn the results that are out there. And I'm not saying one way or the other I believe in that, I don't believe in that. What I do believe is that there is a lot of room for improvement and a lot of room for mischief if somebody wanted to create mischief. A lot of good people involved, but the system itself is broken. And we need to fix that system so that we have it better for next time. Next time is only 2 years away, and sometimes it's a little closer. In fact, we have the one coming up in Georgia here for the Senate race, and there is a lot of room for improvement there as well. But I'll tell you, it's not, whatever we do to make the system better is not going to be in time for that particular turnout. But we do need to fix this because it is very, very weak, and we need a better system. This is what underpins our entire democracy. And we need to, and I think the system is good, but it is too weak to survive close scrutiny, and we need to fix it. Let's talk about business a little bit. I just got out of a planning meeting. It's our annual strategic planning meeting, and I'll tell you, we had a great meeting. Thanks to my partners who are here with me at the law firm rather, and we had a fantastic meeting. We had some really good results this year for 2020. We'll have even better ones. We have some great ideas in this coming year. Some great parts that we continue to build out in that law firm. And I'll tell you, there's some deals going on too. We're talking business, right? There's some deals going on, very exciting. A number of deals that are going on right this minute, M&A type deals, for example, some other deals as well. And we're very excited about that. By the way, we're hiring. So if you are out there and you have insights into the mortgage space and you're an attorney, or you're licensing specialist, or you're somebody else that's involved, compliance officers who are involved in the mortgage banking area, and you have interest, give me a call or shoot me a text, because we are definitely ramping up. Switching gears for a sec, the Joint Center for Housing at Harvard recently released a study about the levels of insecurity in housing, and this covers rentals, it covers purchases, it covers other types of housing, and so it notes that the current marketplace is very hostile or very challenging for people, especially in the lower income areas or regions of the array, so to speak, of incomes. And housing is just not that affordable. It's getting worse because of the shortage of supply of lumber. It's getting worse just because of low interest rates and the pressure of people rushing out to buy homes, whether they're resales or new homes. And it's also driving rents up. And so this is an important factor that people need to think about. It's going to be a continuing challenge, and if we can come up with solutions for getting more affordable housing for the clients, the mortgage banking companies out there that I work with, and also the industry general, and also just generally the United States, we will have a healthier economy, a healthier market. IMB profits were up in third quarter, says the MBA, and that's some good news. Up pretty healthily, actually. They were up previously as well, but even up more in third quarter. Meanwhile, mortgage applications are down just slightly, though, and loans in forbearance are up just slightly. But I'll tell you, that's a concerning indicator, because for great numbers of weeks, 22 weeks I think it was. I could be wrong about that numbers, but a great number of weeks, the numbers of loans in forbearance were declining. But now 2 weeks in a row, the numbers have started to eke back up a little bit, and these are the loans that are in forbearance in the portfolios. These are aggregate numbers, but it's something that is a bit of a concerning trend. Meanwhile, pending home sales are down slightly. Reports NAR, and if you need any of this information, just let me know and I can send that over to you. 2021 mortgage limits also came out just recently for a lot of the loan products that are out there, and same thing. If you want that information, give me a buzz, let me know, and I'll shoot that information over to you. Let's talk lastly about regulation. So we have noticed a couple of tendencies and trends in the recent times with regards to what's going on in regulation. But we don't have time to talk about all of them today, but one that I want to point out in particular is with regard to the CFPB and its focus on UDAP. You'll notice that, and just today, in fact, there was a settlement that was announced with the CFPB and a big servicer, and 50 states, and the 50 states AGs and mortgage banking regulators, also a couple of territories and DC. But this servicer is going to pay out in excess of $85 million, according to the CFPB's announcement. And some of the things that you should keep in mind are that one is the focus on UDAP, which is a much more flimsy, malleable, kind of bendable, twistable standard that the CFPB has in its arsenal, so that it can use this type of flexible approach in approaching activities that it appears that the CFPB does not like, or that states do not like. But in addition, working with the states, and I noticed, I mentioned this a while back in one of the live streams as well, that it's a little bit concerning when the regulators join up and kind of gang up on lenders, because it's hard enough to fight one regulator. Multiple fronts is even worse. It's sort of the concept of fighting City Hall. It's very difficult to win, and with that sort of an approach. And it doesn't mean you can't win, and it doesn't mean that you can't come to some sort of a reasonable approach. And look, I am friends with a number of the regulators, including people at the CFPB, and I find them to be oftentimes very professional. I find them to oftentimes to be reasonable in their conversations. But I will tell you, they come at this especially the CFPB comes at it from a consumer protection standpoint. It has its view of the law, and a lot of that law has not yet been tried in court. And so it is one person's view versus another person's view, and you're negotiating under those types of circumstances. If you want a copy of any of this information, either the settlement consent orders that just came out, or some of the others I mentioned previously on the show, a number of different lenders in the VA space that were alleged to be in violation of some UDAP provisions. If you want any of this information, just let me know. I'll send it over. It's helpful information to take a look at. And also tell us what you think about this. Tell us what you think about the CFPB working with other regulators, the CFPB taking this focus on UDAP and expanding it in the way that it approaches its way of working in the world. Just let us know what you think. A couple other shouts out. Casey English, thank you, Casey. So good to see you here. James Eiley, James, as always, great to see you. Brent Duhame, Brent, I hope to see you very soon in person. Right around the corner from me, great individual, runs a fantastic podcast. And as I say, guys, just so many wonderful people that help support the live stream here. This is Troy Garris. If you want any topics addressed, let me know. Also, click the little bell, click the subscribe button, and let us know that you like what we're doing if you think this is good information. I'm Troy Garris at Garris Horn. This is the Mortgage Banking live stream. Have a fantastic week.